"Sir, you've been moved to seat 34B. The gate agent didn't even look up as she handed him the slip. Colonel James Hawk Hawkins blinked, confused. "I was booked in first class." His voice was steady, calm, the same voice that once commanded air squadrons in the Gulf. "I'm sorry, sir. There's been a change," she said flatly, eyes already on the next passenger. No apology, no recognition, no care. Hawk looked down at the ticket, then at the silver-blue ribbon hanging from his neck, the Medal of Honor. A few people glanced his way. Most didn't understand. Others looked and quickly turned away. He nodded to himself. He'd seen worse than this. Far worse. But something about it still stung. He shuffled slowly down the jet bridge, each step accompanied by the soft tap of his cane. At 85, he moved like a man twice his age, but his presence still held gravity. He reached the back of the plane, row 34, middle seat. A young man wearing headphones was in the aisle seat, scrolling through his phone. The window seat was occupied by a woman trying to calm her crying baby. Hawk squeezed into the tight space, knees bumping the tray table, shoulders boxed in. No room, no dignity. He sat back, eyes forward, saying nothing. He didn't expect glory, but this felt like erasure. 8 minutes passed. Then murmurs started at the front of the cabin, heads turned. A man in a dark suit, flanked by 2 flight attendants, was walking down the aisle with purpose. His name tag gleamed, Thomas Reynolds, President and CEO. "Colonel Hawkins?" he asked gently. Hawk looked up, surprised. "Yes?" "I'm Thomas Reynolds, President of the airline. May I have a word?" The cabin grew quiet. People began to murmur. The man next to Hawk pulled off his headphones. "I just became aware of what happened at the gate," Reynolds continued, his voice full of regret. "There was a mistake, a serious one. Please accept my deepest apologies." "It's all right," Hawk said softly. "No, sir, it's not." Reynolds knelt slightly, eye level now. "You were supposed to be in first class. That seat was yours. It was wrongly reassigned, and I take full responsibility. We've prepared your proper seat. If you'd allow me, I'd be honored to escort you there myself." For a moment, Hawk didn't move. Then slowly, he stood. As he did, the cabin erupted in applause. Some passengers stood. A few saluted. A flight attendant wiped her eye. It was a moment, real, unscripted, raw. As they walked forward, Reynolds leaned closer. "Colonel, your service, your bravery, earned more than a seat. It earned our lasting gratitude. What happened back there? That's not who we are. That's not who we want to be." Hawk gave a faint smile, humbled by the gesture. "I appreciate that, son, more than you know." Back in first class, Hawk took his seat, seat 1A, where he was originally assigned. The cabin crew surrounded him like protectors. One brought him a fresh blanket. Another placed a small American flag pin on his tray. "Colonel," the flight attendant said softly, eyes glistening, "we can't thank you enough." He nodded again, barely able to speak. Outside the window, the tarmac blurred slightly, not from movement, but from the heat welling in his eyes. Memories flooded back, the brothers he lost in the jungle, the helicopter he pulled from fire, the medal that never erased the pain. And now, all these years later, he'd nearly been erased again by a clerical error. But in that single walk from row 34 to row 1, something had shifted. He hadn't demanded respect, but it found him anyway. As the plane began to taxi, the pilot's voice came over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have Colonel James Hawkins aboard today, a Medal of Honor recipient and a true American hero. We thank him for his service, and we are all better passengers for having him with us." Applause filled the cabin once more. This time, Hawk closed his eyes. Not for the recognition, but for the peace it brought. Because respect isn't just about medals or uniforms. It's about remembering the cost of sacrifice. It's about seeing someone when the world almost forgets. This wasn't a story about a seat on a plane. It was about a moment when dignity was restored. Not just to a man, but to everyone watching. A reminder that humility can roar louder than demands, and that even in a world obsessed with speed and convenience, honor still has a place. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.